Bless you, Spyro. Hello everybody and welcome back to I wanted to say Pokemon because that's what I've been doing for so long and so often. Spyro the Dragon reignited trilogy Let's Play. In the last episode we started off here in the Artisan's homeworld, we did a couple of levels, and in this episode we're going to jump right into Town Square and then the boss level of this world, and probably we'll be able to do the homeworld of Peacekeepers, which is not very peaceful. That being said, Town Square might actually be a bit of an issue because it's the bane of my existence, as I mentioned last episode. There's a couple of levels within this game which always give me trouble. Town Square is the first of those, and then it's not the level; it's the boss fight in the level. But Dr. Shemp always an issue for me, and the level itself as well, because I always, for some reason, just miss one of the very valuable gems. And let's get right into Nils the Dragon. Something that is worth mentioning, by the way, is that the dragons in this version of the game compared to the original do have quite a bit more character going for them. And they're like they all have unique designs, they don't get recycled as much, they have more unique dialogue. It's an improvement upon the original game, and I think other than the speedway controls, which aren't that bad. Last episode I complained about them a little bit, but they're not that bad. But other than the speedway controls, there's no reason ever to play the PlayStation 1 version of this game anymore. Though kind of was a little argument to be made for like gameplay purposes when only the console versions were released, right? Because it just, again, the motion blur, it's annoying. But the motion blur, you can just turn it off and it runs like a charm on PC so far. So there's no reason to ever play the PlayStation 1 version of this game ever again for me. That goes for the other two versions of the game as well, I guess, because especially, by the way, double especially, triple especially, super mega ultra especially for Year of the Dragon, because the extra gameplay styles in Year of the Dragon are so much more polished in the PC version. So I'm not going to bother with the Act Thief on my first run around of this course, because there's a lot of gems I want to get anyway. So I have to do this twice anyway, so I might as well do the gems first and then the Act Thief, because I don't know, actually. Maybe it's technically a better idea to do it the other way around, just because you might get a lot of the gems anyway while chasing the Act Thief, and it saves a little bit of time. And that is all the gems in the... Okay, so I probably could have done this within last episode, because that's all the gems. That's, I think, all the dragons. So now I just need to Act Thief. This is a very short level when you do it properly, apparently. I remember this being way longer. The Act Thief might be an issue, actually, though. So it might end up being 10 minutes after all, half of which is spent on the Act Thief, because the Act Thief in this level, again, bane of my existence. I also don't know where he is. That's potentially problematic. I can hear him. Where the frick is he? What? Wait, what? Oh, he's down there. Okay, so that's this level done, I think. Yeah, let's exit. So you can exit level, as I said last episode. I'm not close to the exit portal, so I'm just going to exit level through the main menu. And then the adventure continues. So yeah, definitely could have done that within last episode, because that level literally took me 5 minutes. Would have been the perfect length to end of last episode. Well, everybody makes mistakes sometimes. Now let's go to... What is the boss called in this world? I think it's not Jax, is it? Is it? I don't know. We'll see, right? It's Toasty, of course, it's Toasty. Yeah, this might be a little bit more of a difficult fight. Also, I'm really annoyed by the fact, and probably, I'm sure now that it's out on PC, somebody made a mod to fix this. And if that's the case, actually, after this episode, I'm going to look into that, because if that's the case, I'm going to install that mod. In the original version of the game, after every single level, the gems you collected within that level were like transferred on the loading screen to your general gems chest, I guess. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. And there was just something to make the loading screens a tiny bit more interesting. And it worked wonders, honestly. These dogs, though, these freaking oh, you need to hit them twice. That's the problem. Okay. And they removed it in the reignited trilogy. Especially annoying since, at least now I know I have to run away after hitting them the first time. Since the loading screens on the original versions of the reignited trilogy, which, I mean, the console versions, are so much longer than the original games. It's ridiculous how much longer they are. Again, PC version kind of fixes that, as you can clearly see. The loading screens are not that long at all. Of course, depending on your hardware, I do have a 8-core CPU. But that's not that special anymore these days, frankly, having an 8-core CPU. It's just, I don't even have like a current generation. I have a last generation CPU in this thing, and just core count doesn't even work that well for gaming anyway. Games are more compatible with more cores over the last couple of years, but generally clock speed is so much more important for games as a whole than core count. Over a certain point, of course. I mean, if you have a very fast single-core CPU or a slower, like, quad-core, definitely give the slower quad-core also in gaming performance. But, like, 8 or more cores for gaming, generally not that useful, right? So, okay, again, these dogs, I freaking hate them. There's boss fights. The boss fights in this game aren't great. Gonna be honest, the boss fights in this game are kind of subpar, as a matter of fact. Not that they're bad, they're just very minimalistic. They're kind of bad. Let's be honest here, they're kind of bad. This might be like the most... Well, Nasty Nork might be the most interesting boss fights. Because there's... I don't know, this might actually be more interesting than Nasty Nork. If not, this is definitely the second most interesting. After this, it's all downhill. It just gets worse from here. Sorry to say. It just doesn't get much better. So, do I have all the gems, or did I forget some? Because I feel like I'm not going to get to 100 with the gems that I scattered about. Oh, no, I definitely will. There's just 6 left. That's 3. I miss 1 green gem, and I don't have sparks to point me towards it. And there's a lot of grass around here, which burns. I love the fact that it burns. Or 2 red gems, possibly, I suppose. But surely it's 1 green gem I'm missing. So let me go find a sheep to burn. Because that's the easiest way for me to get the gem. Getting sparks back. I missed a dog. And that is, as they say, that's exit level. Press the right button if you want to exit the level. Maybe that's a good idea. So let's go to Peacekeepers. That is the whole Artisan's World done. Could have definitely done that within 1 episode, because we're 35 minutes in. Would have been a bit of a long episode, but definitely could have done that within a single episode. I didn't. Probably should have, just to get like a little bit more. That is a special butterfly. So that means I get a life and Sparks goes back to full HP. That's very good. Not that I'm going to need a particularly great amount of lives, because I just don't die generally in this game. And probably by the end of the game I'm going to have like 90 lives, I imagine. Because getting lives is not that difficult. Losing lives is significantly more difficult than getting them. That being said, I did get very close to losing a life there in the Toasty stage. So, what do I know? There are, by the way, requirements for the balloon to work, which aren't just 100% complete the entire world. It's like, get a certain amount of gems, or free a certain amount of dragons, or get a certain amount of dragon eggs. I don't know what they are, because the way I've always played this game, from the first time I ever put this on my PlayStation 1, is always has been complete every level 100% and then move on. It's a thing I don't do with a lot of games, strangely enough. But Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, I always 100% them. Unless the Crash Bandicoot 1, which actually I did 100%. Crash Bandicoot 1. In the, not the reignited, in the insane version of the game. I 100%ed it. I never 100%ed the original because that's just hell. I suppose after practicing a lot, I might be able to do it now. Because if you can 100% the HD version, you definitely can 100% the original as well. Because the controls in the original are slightly better. Maybe that's not true, actually, now that I think about it. Because the don't die in order to get the gem thing has been removed in the HD version of Crash Bandicoot. Which, it still is there for the colored gems, but that's just a number of the gems. So I might not be able to 100% the original, just because I 100%ed the HD version. But yeah, so Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, 3, I've 100%ed all of those, and I always do when I replay them. And Spyro 1 and 2, always 100% them when I replay them. But for some reason Spyro 3 I just never can be bothered, because I just don't like a lot of the added gameplay styles. And in the HD version, it's a lot better. They're a lot better, they're actually playable. Like Yeti boxing still is hell, but other than that, it's a lot better. Agent 9 is actually like a third-person shooter now. Or first-person shooter, depending on the mission, I suppose. So, probably should do the cannon thing, because otherwise I'm gonna forget. These controls are a little bit iffy. I guess it controls roughly the same compared to the original game, but it's just... There's a lot more polygons now, so it's more obvious that it's a little bit iffy. You don't... that's right, in this game you don't actually get to control the height of the shot, so you just have to line it up. Which is a lot easier, because in games after this one, obviously, you get on the cannons and also get to control, like, the tilt of the barrel. That's not a thing in this game. So... where do we go from here? Because, obviously... The reason this cannon is here to begin with is to open up the speedway, and that platform holds some... This is a difficult jump. It doesn't look like a difficult jump, but it's actually a fairly difficult jump. No, I didn't want to go in there yet. I'm probably going to go in there at the end of this episode, because I don't think there will be a lot of time left after I don't know actually, because... I started this at about 25 minutes into this recording. I'm recording these 2 episodes back to back. Possibly going to be doing a third. I don't think I will, because I kind of want to see if there's a mod to make like the chest animation thing happen. I want to quit. Quit. Yes. Why would you? I guess retry. No, because the option says quit, not like quit or retry. It says quit, so the default option I want to be at on that menu is quit, not retry. It's a little like nitpicky thing, but it's something that does still annoy me. And just because I came out of a speedway here, I was using the D-pad for a very short amount of time. Did they change the Act Thieves in the PC version or just in a patch to be easier? Because that definitely feels a lot easier to me. Okay, so all dragons were found. I found 1 Act Thief. That's, I think, all the Act Thieves in here. Which means that all I have left to do is collect up to 200 gems, I imagine, is the amount here. Oh, that's not good. That's very not good. Wow. Okay, so, you know how I mentioned that I'm not gonna die? Yeah, I feel bad, didn't I? I'm ashamed. I'm a little bit ashamed. You what? I made that jump. Did I just charge literally 1 frame to... I'm just gonna commit suicide in this crater, because can you fall into that crater in the original version of the game? Or a better question might actually be, can you stand on the edge of that crater in the original version of the game? This doesn't seem quite right to me, gonna be honest. So I'm losing quite a bit of lives here. Yeah. I don't know what's up with this jump and why I'm messing it up so much. Okay, get to the very edge here. Jump at the heights. Yeah, it's a very, very, very different... Do I have the key? Do I have the key? I think I don't have the key. Frick, I don't have the key. So I'm going to have to make that jump again. It's the moral of the story here. That's not good, because I don't know where the key is. And really, where is the key? Did I just ignore a key laying around somewhere? I must have. Well, obviously I did, because I've been everywhere and I don't have the key. I feel like the key probably is close to the balloon for some reason. I don't see it here. Where could I find the key? Where did I miss it? Also, I'm starting to get hungry. I haven't had lunch yet. Is it here? Oh, it's behind the portal, is it? No, it's not. Huh. This was supposed to be like a walkthrough type of Let's Play. Kind of. And yet I don't know where to go. Oh, it's literally right over here. It was just... either just out of my render distance, which I don't think is the case, because this is not Spyro 1. Well, it's Spyro 1, but you know what I mean. Or it's just camouflaged against the yellow background, which is a much more likely explanation there. Okay, that still doesn't... Huh? Did I... Where's my last gem? Or last couple of gems, actually. It's in this direction, but... Okay, that's 4 gems, and that's that. So how long do I have left? Let's do the speedway and then call it an episode. Because I think I might have to do 2 tries for this speedway anyway. So that's going to round out to roughly a half an hour long episode. And then... next episode we can probably do the majority of the Peacekeepers world. Maybe not the boss fight, which I think this world's boss fight is Dr. Champ. Which is the one I talked about last episode. This loading screen is taking a lot longer suddenly. Okay. But I think within half an hour we should be able to do most of Peacekeepers, if not all of it. And then move on to the next world. The episode after that. So this is still going to be a fairly short Let's Play. And that's fine, honestly. I think I missed. Also, the hitbox for the flame seems a little bit not as good as the original version. Maybe it's just more precise, and I just need to get good lol. But it seems like it's a little bit smaller, and especially with the clunky controls and the speedways. Yeah, so I'm going to have to retry this. So this is why retry is the default option, because you know that your speedways are freaking impossible to do. So for this part of the speedway, it's not particularly important to use the D-pad. For this upcoming part with the chests though, I think the D-pad is going to give me a huge advantage over the analog sticks. I don't know if it's very obvious from just the footage how awkward this is to control. I think you just need to play this. I would really recommend you pick up this game because it's a good game, but also just to try doing this with an analog stick, or just in general, as a matter of fact. Just try to do this, because this just controls awkward and a little bit stiff, and it's just not the fluid controls and motion you have in the original version of the game, and that's just a bummer, because the rest of this game is so good. Yeah, and the lighthouses flow right on this one. Speedways are a matter of routing things correctly and also having proper hitboxes. And proper hitboxes is not something I particularly have a lot of control over, I'm aware. I'm not gonna make this. This is way too far away. Oh my freaking god! And oh my... Wait, what? Why? Oh, I already did the rings all last time. No, that makes a lot of sense. As I said, this is probably going to take me a couple of tries, because this is not one of the more difficult speedways. I was going to say this is one of the more difficult speedways. I don't think it is. It's not one of the easier ones, but it's the first one you're supposed to do. The one in the Artisan's World. Also, I think I missed that same goddamn chest again. I did. The one in the Artisan's World you're supposed to learn about from one of the dragons you free in like the 3rd or the 4th world down the line, and then you're supposed to go back and find the secrets of stepping on those stones. So that one is supposed to be like the 3rd or 5th. 3rd or 5th. Yeah, that makes sense. The 3rd or 4th you do. Definitely not the 1st. So this is the first you're supposed to do, and it's pretty brutal, if you, as you can clearly see, because it's pretty tight as far as timing goes. Because you only get like +2 seconds for every obstacle you get, right? I don't think any of them are +3, and the rings are +1. The chests, I think, also were +2, and then the light. I think the light should be changed to +3. I think that would really balance shit out here, because this is +1, which is fair because they're very close together. But the lights are a little bit spread out, so I think those should be +3, and I think the chests are +2, right? Yeah, they're also +2, which is fair. I think that they should be +2. I mean, if you don't mess it up like I did there, +2 is reasonable. I missed the chest, so at this point, you just gotta restart really, but I'm going to practice a little bit for the rest, because I need a little bit of practice for the light tower house. Light towers, what are they called? I don't know. I think the lighthouses, but why are they called lighthouses if nobody actually lives in them? They house the light, I suppose? But light towers would be such a better name, because the towers, they're specifically built to be high, to reach far with their lights, like into the sea. Oh, I think you're not supposed to do this one first, because now I'm just zigzagging. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so it's a good thing that I didn't restart right away there, because now I know the error of my ways, and I know how to fix it. So this is going to be the run. This is going to be the run where I do good stuff. Also, look at the map. I shouldn't be looking at the map. I probably should be looking at the screen, but look at the map. It looks very islandy. Because every one of these crystal formations is a different island on the map. Which just makes it look very, very pretty, to be honest. I don't know what it is about islands on a map. It's pleasing to me to see just little circles and little shapes on a map representing islands. It's probably something that only I find satisfying and pleasing to look at. It's just something that, like, a weird wire in my brain. I'm very much aware of that, but I find it kind of pleasing looking at a map with islands. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I like pirates. It isn't, because I don't particularly like pirates. Now I say that out loud, but oh my god. Oh, yeah, no, this makes a lot more sense suddenly, actually. Also, the sphere is holding arrows, pointing you towards... Okay, so I'm just stupid, is what we learned here today. Now that makes a lot more sense, suddenly. I'm not going to try that again. Fuck off. That is going to be the end of the episode for today. Again, another 25-minute episode. Just watch me go into a level next time, which is only 5 minutes long. Hopefully next time I'll have the mod installed, if it exists, which surely it does. And I won't run into purple poison stuff. I'm not going to do Dr. Shampoo until the end, because even though the boss fights aren't really that much of a boss fight in this game, I'm going to still keep them for last. So I'm going to run back to the start of the world and go from there next episode. Until the next episode, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you have indeed enjoyed the video, which hopefully you have. Until the next time, I'll see you back then. Bye. Also, I probably should have been looking at the camera. Bye.